Good evening, and today is Monday, February 6, 2023. I call to order Claims Committee meetings. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Present.
Council Paplaskas,
Present.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilman Ferry,
Present.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campion.
Thank you. So can we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the last meeting?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Is there any, before we go into executive session, is there any public hearings in the chamber or in online?
No public comment.
Thank you. Can we have a motion to go into executive session pursuant to section 42-46-5A2 pending litigation?
So moved. Second.
Please, clerk, take the roll.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
So now we move into executive sessions. If- The meeting is continued to next month meeting, so I will make a motion to seal the minutes.
Before we seal the minutes, Councilwoman Jermaine, I believe we did have a vote to continue the matters to March sixth, so you just want to reflect the record of that
Oh,
before. we
yes,
do the vote.
definitely.
Thanks.
That's the only vote we had just to continue the meeting for next month. Please, can we have a motion to seal the minute?
So moved. Second.
Please take a roll. Clerk?
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
So at this time, I will make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Please take the roll.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Council President Marino.
Yes.
The claim committee meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
I'd like to call the February 6th Safety Services and Licenses Committee meeting to order. Madam Clerk, could you please take a roll?
Councilman Ferry,
Here.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Jermaine,
Present.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Present.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Present.
Council President Marino.
Present.
I'd like to have a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please take a roll. Oh, any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, first thing I'd like to do is, may I have a motion to take the docket out of order?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, in light of the fact that the Edgewood Laundry topic on the agenda, things are moving along in a positive direction. And there's been communication. I'd like to have a motion to continue this matter until next month, seeing that progress is being made.
Motion to continue
Second.
to next month.
Any discussion from the council? Councilwoman Vargas,
Thank,
Council Vice President Vargas.
it's okay. Thank you, Chairman. Just want to make sure if we can just have legal opinion, if there are members or neighbors from that neighborhood that wish to speak on this item, even though it's been going to be continued, can they or can they not speak and then wait instead until next month? I just want to make sure that we can provide the neighbors with that information.
If the committee continues the matter right now, basically what that would mean is that the matter comes off the docket. There is legally nothing to comment on. However, if, and this is strictly in the discretion of the committee and the chair, if you want to entertain some comments, that is in your discretion. You could go about it either way. If you just simply want to continue the matter legally, if it is continued legally, there is no requirement that there be public speaking about the topic. But like I said, it's in your discretion. It seems to me that it does seem that there are discussions. I see that the attorney, Mr. Manera, is here on behalf of the laundromat. Perhaps he can enlighten us if that is indeed the case.
So because we have a motion on continuing this to next month.
Yeah, right.
Um, it was more of discussion and asking for legal advice. I want to say that as a council member of that area, I really think that it would be more so proper to hold off on that meeting for next month in terms of the public hearing, unless there's anyone here in the audience that so heartily feels otherwise. That way, when everybody comes back next month, we have the legal counsel they received just a letter a few days ago as well, notice about it. So I think it's only not that I understand the vibrations, everything else that is taking place right now or the matter coming before us, but just to make sure that we're able to have that conversation next month if there's no objection on that. And I think I've spoken to some of the neighbors and they were okay with that. So I don't think we need the attorney to really speak tonight just because I think we're continuing to next month. But I was just all right, thank you. As an abundance of caution, that's the only reason why I was asking our legal counsel on.
And that's within, as I said, it's the discretion of the committee, but if you're going to continue it,
Any other
That's fine.
discussion from committee members or council members? Okay, so the motion is to continue the matter in regards to the Edgewood Laundry to next month's meeting. We have a first and we have a second. Madam Clerk, please take a roll.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is committee business matters carried over. And first we have, I'll group these together for the moment. Class C liquor license for Village Sounds LLC and a public entertainment license for Village Sounds LLC. Is there anyone here from Village Sounds LLC? Please state your name and address for the record. And after you explain to us what's going on, we'll take a vote for discussion.
Got it. Yep, thank you. My name is Jennifer Minuto, Minuto. My address is 169 Bluff Avenue in Cranston. I'm also here with Joe Grady, who lives at 4 Ferncrest Avenue in Cranston, 02905. And Casey Minuto, Kasey Minuto, 169 Bluff Avenue in Cranston, Rhode Island. We also have with us the owners of the building, Steve and Kimberly Russo. And their business is located at the same address as Village Sounds will be operating hopefully at 2197 Broad Street in Cranston, 02905. Thank you for having us tonight. We are applying for a Class C liquor license and an entertainment license to occupy and host a live piano bar and jazz and acoustic music venue and cocktail bar in between where Basta is located and where Village Cleaners is located in what was Haven Fitness Center. It's an 875 square foot space. And we are looking to be approved to satisfy and fulfill a really special need we feel in the village. We're all residents of the village, longtime residents of the village, and there isn't any dedicated music space. And as the village has grown with restaurants, beautiful restaurants and cafes and bars, and shops, we are looking to make something very beautiful, very special, and to make our community happy by having a dedicated art space and culture space. I've been a piano player since I was 5 and have played professionally since I was very young, all around Rhode Island and the region. The group of us are musicians, and we are all very passionate about bringing music to our community. So there's a group of 7 of us. We're all professionals. We have other jobs and businesses and professions, but this is really a project of love. And that's why we're putting our heads and hearts together and hoping to be approved.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve and a second for discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion from the committee or the council? Council Vice President Vargas?
Yes, thank you. So I just had a quick question. Jennifer,
Yes.
good evening.
Good evening.
Can you just quickly, and for transparency purposes, I stopped by the business this past Saturday. I took a peek at the layout, just to make sure that I would know what I would be, voting on this
Yeah.
evening before us. And I know that there's still, there's work being done, everything
Right.
else on there. I know there was some documents that were missing last time. Is that all?
Everything has been submitted.
Okay. And so to the clerk, everything's in,
For the record, the only thing that was not done was the certificate of liquor liability, and that was provided to the clerk. So the checklist is complete.
great.
I have a question for legal. Do I have to reopen public comment on this matter, seeing that it was a committee business meeting, matter carried over?
Did you complete public comment and public hearing at the last meeting?
Yes, we did.
You may, out of an abundance of caution, just want to see if anyone else has additional comment.
Okay, we'll continue discussion from the council and the committee, and then I'll ask for public hearing on that matter. So everything on the checklist was completed. I spoke with the clerk's office today, so everything on their applications is completed at this time.
Great, thank you. And I know that I also recommended that the call be made to the clerk's office this morning to make sure everything was checked, but I'm just double checking again on my end. Can you just tell us what the hours of operation will be?
Sure, and I took your good wisdom and did call again. They might be quite sick of me by now, but I'm really grateful to the clerk's office for all of their help. We would like to be open. Part of our mission, I guess you would say, our vision is to try to be a complement to the restaurants that are already established in the village. So what we'd like to do is open at about 4 p.m. and close, giving enough time for a window after the restaurants close. We've already heard from many of the people who actually work in the village that they want to come to us when their shifts are done. So what we'd like to do is just do 4 to 11 on the weekdays, and then 4 to midnight on just Friday and Saturday. We'd also like to have a jazz brunch few hours on Sunday, and it would be earlier in the day.
Is it on Sunday? So like typically timing, just,
Like 11 to 3 or 4.
is that within entertainment as well?
Yes,
Everything with entertainment?
Yes.
Right,
yes.
okay. And then parking space?
So we've confirmed that we have 13 committed parking spots that are part of the ownership of the property. The business that uses those parking spots now is a daytime business, so it works out perfectly. We would be able to utilize those spaces after hours when all the daytime businesses close and the evening businesses begin. So we have 13 dedicated parking spots.
Thank you.
And I believe if I could just mention, we were told that we would need 1 spot per 3 seats, and our site plan is just under that.
Thank you. And the Class C license is obviously for a full
Yes.
bar,
Yes,
correct? With
correct.
some finger foods or something?
So yes, we're gonna, exactly. Yep, we will not have a kitchen or be operating a kitchen, but we've actually, again, we all live there and we're all in all of those restaurants all the time. We've had a lot of interest in some of the chefs that they would be willing to pre-prepare and pre-package snack food, basically, so that we could be serving, some kind of a pre-prepared menu as we serve alcohol.
Okay, I may have another question later on, but I'll defer to anyone else if they have any questions in the meantime.
Is all this entertainment going to be indoors?
Yes.
Okay.
We may apply, I should say, for maybe 1 or 2 additional, like Gatsby weekend, maybe to do something in the parking lot, which was actually the owner's idea. But we kind of loved it. So maybe just reserving, but it would be a very special case to move music outside.
Any other questions from the committee and the council? Councilman Donegan.
Thank you, Chairman. Based on the information provided, I'll certainly be supporting this evening. I think that I would recommend maybe reach out to the Cranston Arts Commission. I'm sure they would be really excited about this, new entity joining the community. Wish you all the luck, and you're definitely filling a void that I think we have here in the city. So
Thank you
best of
so
luck.
much. That's a great advice.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Thank you, Chairman. So listening to you, the passion I feel you have for this project, I just commend you. And I think this is gonna be so great for all the whole concerns, most particularly the village. So I wish you really, all of you, good luck, and I feel like I will be going to dance because your passion is contagious, so.
Thank you so much. That means the world.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Thank you. I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. I fully support the hours. The only one thing that I do want to make sure, and I'm clear and I'm on the record for saying this, is that if there are any complaints, which sometimes there has been with neighbors in the area, coming before us, you know, as a good neighbor, I would probably reach out to you and
Yes.
kind of getting a sense, but hopefully there won't be any problems. The fact that it's open till midnight, as I know some of the other businesses are they close a little earlier.
Right.
Right? But definitely have my support, but I just want to make sure that at least we're able to, if there's ever a problem, hopefully there isn't, that
Right.
at least we know that, just to be obviously a friendly business and
Yes.
to the neighborhood, right? So
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. So
Absolutely. And we will be really thoughtful about what we're offering and when we're offering it and what hours and that kind of thing. Really, it's just wanting a diverse, musical scene. People need it and want it, but we will be very, very conscious of that. And one of the first things we did before we did anything was to bring some music equipment in to do a sound check. And luckily, the Basta building is its own independent building, and then 2197 is also. So there are two concrete firewalls going from floor all the way up to the top. So that amount of sound check or sound barrier is really helpful, but we will be absolutely responsive if we need to mitigate sound, change hours, change the scheduling. We will definitely be wonderful neighbors.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing that there is no more discussion,
If I may, sorry.
I'm sorry, Council President.
Yep, very brief. Just want to wish you great luck, great success, welcome, and enjoy it.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. And you are all invited. Please come as soon as you can, as soon as we're open. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
as an abundance of caution, is there anyone in council chambers or on Zoom that would like to have any public testimony in reference to the Class C liquor license and the public entertainment license for Village Sounds at this time? Okay, I think we do have our Director of Economic Development would like to chime in here. Absolutely.
Good evening. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Village Sound. I have visited the business and we believe with their new concept for the piano bar, the application will bring a brand new business venture to the city and also to Patuxent Village. I have worked with the previous business that were there, and we are happy that a new business is filling in. The Village Sound would add a nightlife to the village and will attract more customer to the dining and shopping center without competing with the existing business. The venue will provide opportunity for local musicians to perform without reaching crowds and volume level. We welcome this business to the Patuxent Village. Currently, we're working with a Take It Outside grant and with some grant application. And if you like to use the city resource, we are here to help you. So welcome to
Wonderful.
the city.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. When there's a ribbon cutting, please reach out to Franklin, and
Absolutely.
Franklin will hopefully reach out to the council and invite us as well, right, Franklin?
Yes. we will.
Thank you.
Can't wait for that day. That's wonderful. I hope we're all together.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna be voting on two separate items.
Through the chair, just,
Oh, I'm sorry. Acting Clerk Sandy had a
I
comment.
just want to state for the record, because I know the applicant mentioned possible outdoor entertainment during the Gatsby days. On the route slip, I just want to indicate that the traffic engineer did sign off on it, but it's also stated no outdoor entertainment. Just for your
Okay,
future knowledge, okay?
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're voting on two separate items. First is going to be Class C liquor liquor license. We do have a motion to approve and a second. Madam Clerk, please take a roll on the Class C liquor license for Village Sounds.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, we're halfway there.
My heart's racing.
I would like to ask for a motion to approve and a second on the public entertainment license, just to be
Motion
safe.
to approve.
Second,
And we've already had discussion. Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and good
Thank you
luck.
so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And just so you know, you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting if you don't want to. But you're welcome to stay. Okay. All right, next, thank you. Next item is the victualling license for Dos Mundos Restaurant LLC. Is there anyone here from that establishment? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
First name is Nari, last name is Vaughn, 1 Starline Way, Cranston. Yep, N as in Nancy, A as in apple, R as in raw, Y as in you. You're welcome.
For a matter of fact, the owners did provide information that proved that all the equipment is new and therefore the tangible taxes on the previous owner is that is satisfied with the clerk's office. So that has been provided. So if you just want to reiterate to us what your hours are going to be, what you're going to be doing, and we'll vote on this tonight.
So we're gonna have it. Oh, yep, that's fine. Jonathan Vasquez. And it's 1 Starline Way, Cranston, 02921. So we're doing a fast casual Asian fusion, Asian and Latin fusion restaurant. So it'll be a little mix of both of our cultures. That's the name Dos Mundos translates to 2 worlds. And our hours of operation, I believe Monday through Friday, Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 8, and Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 6. Yeah.
How's your parking situation?
So there's dedicated 25 parking spaces. There's a tanning salon next door. There's a daycare upstairs. And it's not a daycare there, it's like a drop-off service to take your children, they take your children to school, after school, yeah. So they're in and out, they stay for like 2 minutes, drop off the kids and they leave.
All right, I'd like to have a motion to approve in a second so we can have discussion from the committee and the council.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion from the council? Questions for the applicants? Councilman Paplaskas.
Thank you, Chair. Is this going to the right side of the building? There used to be an Italian deli there.
Yeah, right below the liquor stores.
I actually drove over there. I was doing a job in the area with my coworker who said, "Oh, we're gonna go there to eat." We didn't know the Italian restaurant had left.
Yeah.
So really happy to hear that somebody is going there. Look forward to stopping in. I will be voting in favor of your application. And to answer the chair's question about parking, I've gone there. We've never had any issue getting out at lunchtime. So
So I've been there 13 years. I actually worked 2 buildings down. I've been there a long time on Starline Way. And yeah, I've been to the Italian deli plenty of times and yeah, it's crazy how it happened, but we're excited to bring something new to that area.
well, I'm excited to hear that you're going. And I think the Richard Campo Piani awards up to what, 6, 7 businesses now? How are we doing? Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the Council Vice President
Thank-
Vargas?
And so I think I mentioned this to you before, very exciting. There's also some Guatemalan fusion and Cambodian fusion. So I apologize, you have to come back again, but we obviously had to take an abundance of cautions, a lot of, legal precautions on it. I'm very excited to see the both of you. I know our mutual friend, Max Laura, speaks very, very highly of you. And I actually ended up following you guys on Instagram yesterday because I think you already started promoting your ribbon cutting coming soon. So please let us know how we can help. And hopefully if this gets voted in today, I'll be stopping by. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the committee or the council? As we've been pretty much telling everyone, always be a good neighbor to the other businesses that are there and the public, and you look like you're two very outstanding business people. So we wish you the best of luck. Okay, Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Next on the agenda is the Cater Group LLC. Is there anyone here from that establishment? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Fraz Cater, F-R-A-Z, last name is Cater, K-A-D-E-R. And our address is Best Way at Atwood Avenue. It's 280 Atwood Avenue, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02920.
I have on the agenda here that the inspection from the Department of Health has not yet been submitted to the clerk's office. So could you please explain to us what's going on?
We have called a few times, but we haven't gotten any call back to schedule, but everything has been submitted. So whenever they're ready to come do it, they can.
Have they given you a date or?
No, no one answered the phone and no one called back.
May I refer to legal to advise us on this, please?
I think we've dealt with this issue before, and I think both myself and Attorney Angel have opined that unfortunately, unless the application is complete, we cannot delegate the authority to approve a license to the clerk's office. It's as simple as that. It's unfortunate, but we have to remain consistent. And that has been the position we've taken. And unfortunately, unless and until all of the required documentation is submitted, I don't believe we have any discretion.
Thank you.
Can I speak?
Yes, you may.
What are we missing? I don't know.
The Department of Health's final inspection.
Yeah, that's the only thing, and we have been calling them.
So you have to understand that as a body, we are not able to approve this
Okay.
until done. What I need to do right now is to have a motion to approve and a second for discussion from the council. Shinta? No, I mean, we're gonna have, if we want to ask him any questions. Pardon? All right, so a motion to continue.
I'll second Councilmember Donegan's motion to continue.
Okay, any discussion or questions for the applicant from the council or the committee? Councilman Paplaskas.
Thank you, Chair. So we do see here that you do need your final health inspection. 280 Atwood Avenue, is that the Best Way gas station?
Yes.
So I have a question. As the Ward 5 councilman, we've had issues in the past where the fire inspection has our certification from your fire extinguisher system on the canopy has not been inspected. Where are you on that inspection now? Is that current?
They were here last month, but they didn't bring anything up about the canopy, but everything else checked out.
Okay, so you had your third party vendor come, that fire suppression company and check?
Someone from, I wasn't there, my employees were there. So they said that fire inspector came in and they checked everything and everything is good.
Okay, I'm just bringing this up because of the historical issue we had in the past. I do see the fire chief here. Is it okay, Chair, to ask the fire chief a question if he is aware of the? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Any other questions or discussion from the committee or the council? So we're gonna be forced to continue this until next month.
Okay.
So hopefully you'll have the final inspection and you'll get that to the clerk's office and then she'll notify us that it is in fact complete.
Through the chair, is the applicant, I assume is not allowed to be open or to sell food? Until then,
May I refer to
just
legal?
so he knows, where.
I hate to say it, I really do, but he does not have a license to sell until it's approved by this committee. And until that certificate is produced by the Department of Health. Unfortunately, no, he's not licensed.
So may I ask, can he sell a package of gum? Or is he not supposed to be selling anything?
Depends what the definition of food is. I don't know that gum is food, mints are necessarily food. That's difficult to say.
Is he allowed to sell a can of Coca-Cola, a bottle of Gatorade?
That's a beverage. I don't know if. I don't think that would satisfy the definition of food. That's my opinion.
Council President?
I would like to make a suggestion, and obviously open for discussion as everything is, with respect to if he in fact, as he says, has the inspection, the certificate from the health department, then and giving time to the fire department, if in fact, as he's just represented, Mr. Cater, is it? That he believes they're in compliance. If that turns out to be so, we could have a special session just on this on another night before next month where we're already here for other matters, because it should be brief.
So what the council president is suggesting that if you were to get this certificate, say tomorrow, our next meeting is in like 10 days. We would add a special session to that meeting
Yes,
that night and have a meeting just to give you, approve the license.
yeah, we can get that done.
So that's why you need to be in touch with the clerk's office as soon as you have the appropriate documentation, the inspection. Council Vice President Vargas, you had a question?
So just so I understand this correctly, it's a gas station, so we're allowing the gas station to operate but not sell, or to sell until the information is provided to us, and that's the reason why we're bringing them back in 10 days? I just want to make sure I know what I'm going to be voting on.
This was for food, correct?
This application, as I understand it, it's a victualling license, which is food. Now, what the gentleman sells there, I have no idea. It simply
It's
says
just candies,
victualling
gum,
and it
soda,
says
cigarette.
food.
Lotto, we've got license for everything else, cigarettes, sales permit, lottery, everything else is there. And there is a victualling license as well there. I don't know if that's what you're looking for. I can take a look.
So what have we done in the past then in terms of other businesses?
Councilman Paplaskas has an explanation.
So it's been a few years since I was chair of this committee, but in the past and Madam Clerk can opine, we used to ratify things. I mean, I would get a phone call if everything was in compliance and it's a week or two before the meeting, we could ratify it and let the chair of the committee could ratify it, and then we would just ratify it at the next meeting, as long as everything was met. Zoning, fire inspections, everything. I don't know if this is a situation where we might want to do a ratification. I'd leave it up to the clerk and the council president and the chair.
Council President?
Whether it's gum, candy, soda, it's going in your mouth. It is food. The safest thing to do, and we've had this discussion before on this committee, is to make sure that we have the required inspections and before we grant this license. So I would really strongly urge that we err on the side of safety. And if he has what he has, it's only 10 days.
Any other questions or discussion? I'd like to take a vote on the continuance of this. Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Is this being continued to a specific date or next month?
Till next month.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas, Council President Marino.
Yes.
So as soon as you get that certificate, please notify the clerk and then she'll notify us.
I will. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up public hearings. Is there anyone here in council chambers that has public comment on anything that is on the agenda at this time? Is there anyone on Zoom that has any public comment on anything that's on the agenda at this time?
No public comment.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to close public hearings. Next item on the agenda. Seeing that there are still, first of all, is there anyone here from the Spot Bar and Grill? Okay, could you please come forward? State your name and address for the record.
Thomas A. Hanley, 1 West Exchange Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02903. I'm the attorney for the Spot Restaurant.
Could you please address the items that are on the agenda in reference to you not having your application being complete?
Yes, we were actually.
Could you please speak directly into the microphone?
Things have been, since this time, things have been submitted. The menu's in, the health certificate, I believe, is in, not the food inspecting license from the health department, but the individual food certificate. It's a new business, so the letter of good standing, the accountant supplied for. The only thing that we are having difficulty with, as the gentleman before me, is the fact that the health department will not inspect until all of the renovations have been complete and with the kitchen and everything else that needs to go in. They won't even send an inspector out. I've had numerous discussions with them. So we're in the process now of, we've been through zoning, we're getting permits with the DPW. And they'll start the renovations and it'll either be a restaurant or be a restaurant, bar and grill, hopefully eventually.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve and a second for discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, before we have open discussion, everyone, my communication with the clerk's department this afternoon shows that still not completed on the application are the food safety manager's certificate is not completed. The alcohol training certificates from staff members are not completed. The certificate of liquor liability insurance is not done. And the Rhode Island Division of Tax Certificate of Good Standing, I understand you're working on it, but we still don't have proof. And the Department of Health final inspection needed. I know you're working on it and they won't come until you've completed the renovations. So it is quite obvious at this time that we're not able to vote on this tonight because there's just too much missing from it. And we know that you're working on it.
2 of the items have been submitted, but I'd have no problem with a continuation if the board wishes, so that we can get everything in and up to date. And I'll personally visit the health department, but we're working on getting the renovations done as quickly as possible.
I guess I should ask for whoever made the motion to withdraw the motion and we'll make it a continuance. Who made the motion? Would you please withdraw the motion
Withdraw the motion.
and have the second?
Throw my second.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to continue this matter until next month?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the continuance?
Yeah, actually,
Council President?
if I can address Attorney Hanley, you said renovations are ongoing. Do you expect they're going to be done in a month or less?
I don't know. It's not, we've, had a couple of meetings with the, Cranston Public Works about the permits. I think they were over, last week, with the owners, going over the, plans and what we needed. We have a certificate from the zoning people allowing us to go forward. So they'll move as, not all of it needs to be renovated, but they are redoing part of the building that, really needed some work. And so I can't guarantee to the council that when I come back here next month, it'll be done. But I will let the clerk know. And by the way, your clerk people are very, very helpful. That anything that transpires between when I leave here tonight and the next meeting, they will be up to date on everything that we have.
Okay, because my suggestion was going to be continue it 2 months because it didn't sound like it was going to be done anytime soon, but we can continue it a month if you'd like to be safe and see where it stands. Thanks.
Do you think we should go 2 months?
I would appreciate a month. I'd be willing to come back, but like I said, when I finally get with I haven't met with the people who are gonna do the renovations yet. So when I get there this week, talk to them. If they say it's gonna be 2 months, I'll immediately notify Miranda or Botella in the clerk's office, and I'll pass that on to the board.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion on continuing the BV liquor license? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, next, the new matters before the committee. First, we have a 19-hour F1 liquor license for the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church. Is there anyone here from that establishment? From the church? I'm sorry.
Church. Good evening. My name is Kevin Phelan, Phelan. I reside at 35 Jonathan Way, Cranston. I'm the vice president of the church, and we've submitted the license. We've had it in the past. It is a fundraiser for our dance troupe, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
May I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion or questions for the applicant? Councilman Paplaskas.
Thank you. I just want to say, I see you at the Greek festival, running around like a nut all 3 days.
Yes,
No,
that's correct.
you do a great job. And whenever you have any events over there,
Thank
they're
you.
done top notch and A+. So
Thank you. And we appreciate the support we get for our festival from the city itself. I mean, cooperation is unbelievable, and the people in the clerk's office and whatnot, they're really great people. It's a pleasure to work with them.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano, Councilman Paplaskas,
yes,
Council President Marino.
Yes.
At this time, may I have a motion for the public entertainment license for the Initiation Greek Orthodox Church?
Motion to approve.
Can,
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Good luck and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have a road race license for Ragnar Events LLC. I do believe that applicant is on Zoom. Amber Sadlier. Are you there?
Through the chair, she needs to raise her hand so that I can allow her to talk.
Okay.
Hello,
can you hear
Amber?
me? Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, could you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Amber Sadler, spelled Sadlier. I am at 5570 West, 1730 East, in Salt Lake City, Utah, 84014. I just gave you the wrong zip code. It's 84104. I apologize.
Could you please tell us just a little bit about the license that you are applying for?
Yes, it's a 200-mile running relay. We start in Groton, Connecticut and end in Quincy, Massachusetts. There is a gap in the course that starts in Cranston. We'll be coming off the Washington Secondary Trail and headed up to the Annunciation Church, the Greek Annunciation Church, where team members will pull in, pick up their incoming runner, and then drive through the town of Johnston up to North Providence, where they continue the relay. The church will receive a donation, and we have volunteer opportunities where volunteers are also given a monetary donation for assisting, showing people where to park. Timing would be about 2 p.m. I apologize, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. May 19th and 20th. So it is the overnight portion of the race. And I bring in portable toilets. There's no road closures. Runners are on sidewalks. They kind of trickle through. We expect about 160 runners between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. So they generally would blend in with everyday pedestrian traffic, except there's not a lot of pedestrian traffic at midnight. They're not all there at the same time. The maximum amount of vehicles we generally see is less than 40 at any given time, and that they come in kind of a bell curve. That curve, the peak of that curve hits right about 1 a.m.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve in a second so we can have discussion?
Motion to approve.
Any discussion or questions from the council and the committee? Councilman Paplaskas.
Through the chair to the applicant, we've approved this in the past, correct? This is not your first year?
This is our third year.
Yeah, I remember the first year I was delivering pizza at a local pizza place. I still work there a few nights a week. And I pull out and I see all these runners at 8 o'clock at night running down the bike path. And I didn't know what it was. And I found out it was an event that we had approved. I just forgot, but I know it's an odd time you come through the city. My recollection is all your runners had yellow vests on and were pretty visible. So I've seen it before and I'll be voting again to approve it.
Any other questions for the applicant? Council Vice President.
Thank you. Does the police department have the route as well?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
they do. And we actually have police detail right there at the church.
Yeah, I remember to answer that question too. I remember seeing the police where they crossed the street and they were, helping people cross the street when they did cross, but it wasn't a lot of people all at once. It was kind of staggered. And I just, I see people running down the bike path at 9 o'clock at night. I didn't know what it was.
Maybe I'll join them. Anyway, all right, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the applicant? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Congratulations and good luck with your event.
Thank you. We're excited to come back. You guys have a good night, okay?
All righty. Next item on the agenda is a victualling license for Jack's New York System. Much anticipated application. Welcome to our chambers. If you could please tell us a little bit about yourself and the business, and then we'll continue from there.
My name's Robert Link. I ran a lot of restaurants in my life, and it's something I always wanted to do. So here it is.
Tell us a little bit about your hours and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm gonna say 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. so I don't have to come back to change them. And I don't think I'll be open any later than 8, but I just said, let me play it safe.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve for discussion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, any discussion or questions from the applicant, from the committee or the council? I just wanted to tell you, I'm good friends with Steve Levy.
Okay.
He's been waiting for this for 3 years.
Yes.
So,
Well, I don't know the last time you was in there, but when I leased the place, it was a mess. So
well,
it took a while, then COVID and everything sent me back. So yeah.
I understand it's been a long process and the place is
Yeah.
immaculate and
Oh, yeah.
beautiful and
Oh, yeah.
everything is brand new.
Absolutely.
So we wish you the best of luck. I will be voting to
Thank you.
approve this. Director Paulino, did you want to make any comments here?
Yes, we've been working with Mr. Link over at Jack for the last 2 years. is a new business coming into the city of Cranston. Jack Wiener was there like for almost 40 years. And I have seen what he has done inside, brand new equipment. And it's a nice place that he's gonna have. So welcome to the city, and we recommend this business.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Councilwoman Jermaine?
So I want to wish you welcome and have fun.
Yes.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President
Yes.
Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Congratulations and save me a seat at the grand opening.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the victualling license for the Spot Bar and Grill. May I have a motion to continue that till next month?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, we have no business from the traffic engineer. No show cause. Nothing from the police department. Chief, anything from the fire department? No. Okay, next, I'd like to have a motion to approve all the renewal licenses all the way through Uncle Sushi and Grill.
Motion to approve as a block?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote on approving the block. I mean, taking the block.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas, Council President Marino.
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve the block?
Motion to approve the block.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote on approving the block.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas, Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Okay, next, monthly schedules. This is just for informational purposes only. Wait a minute, it says here, Historic Park Theater. I thought we decided to just have this for informational purposes.
Through the chair, that's an arrow. It's a Scrivener's arrow.
Scrivener's error, so it's for informational only for the Historic Park Theater, Roads in the Patuxent and Cranston Stadium. Does anyone have any comments or discussion on that? Council President?
Have the last 2 months, I noticed there was nothing there, but the Park Theater is having events, which is great. I'm just wondering if the Chair of Safety Services has had an opportunity to maybe reach out to the Park Theater, and if not, I'd suggest that you do so that we can have a list of events, which would be good. Thanks.
Just for clarification, seeing that I'm new at Safety Services, is this the purpose of getting the schedule so that we can make sure that they're complying with, say, if they need a detail or a fire detail? Is that the reason why we look for a report from them? If I could refer to legal?
Actually, I'm going to refer right back to Councilman Paplaskas. My understanding, since I've been here, is something along those lines. I think there was maybe an incident many years ago where the committee had not been informed of an event and there was a problem involving police and fire, or there was a safety concern. And so I think it's just to keep the committee informed.
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
there was an issue back when I think it was like my first term on the council, and Park Theater was being uncooperative with the Safety Services Committee at the time, and that's why it was put on there. To use a term my kids use, they ghosted the council. and they wouldn't give us any information that we needed. I don't know that we necessarily still need to keep it on there unless the fire chief says they're having issues with the Park Theater, but it was kind of put on there just to put them on record at that time. I don't know if it's any needed any longer. It's different ownership now, so just wanted to throw that out there.
I'd be glad to reach out to ex-councilman Brady and ask him that if he could please try and supply us a list of the events, and we'll see what he says at that request. And then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. And it's, you know, it's good for their business too. It's a little extra free publicity for those who do pay attention. And we also share the parking lot. So it's I don't think it's a big ask. Thanks.
Okay, next on the agenda, miscellaneous business. Mobile food establishment licenses, which are state regulated, that's just for informational purposes. And we did move the Edgewood Laundry until next month. We have no presentations. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
I will. This time I will call to order the February Finance Committee meeting. Clerk, if you could, please take a roll of attendance.
Councilman Donegan,
Present.
Council Vice President Vargas,
President.
Councilman Ferry,
Present.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Present.
Councilman Campiano,
Present.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Present.
Council President Marino.
Present.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting that were distributed.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
In terms of committee business that was carried over, we had some of the questions about the tax interest waiver approvals that was discussed. I had numerous conversations with the tax assessor's office, I believe with the administration and with legal. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilman Ferry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
There are no correspondence or communications, so at this time, we'll move on to public hearings and new matters before the committee. Before moving on to any of the docket, is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak on any docketed items? Is there anyone online that wishes to speak?
No public comment.
Seeing no public comment at this time, we will close public hearing and move on to new matters before the committee. We have motor vehicle tax abatements. For this, a vote must be taken, and I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilman Ferry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
The Tax Assessment Board of Review assessed December 31st, 2021 is on the docket this evening for informational purposes only with no vote required. We do have tax interest waiver approval that does require a vote, and at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan, Council Vice President Ferry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
We have tax interest waiver denials. A vote is required. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Thank you. At this time, we do have several matters, both from myself and from Council Vice President Vargas, that are on the docket this evening for discussion. So if we may, I had asked for a conversation on fiscal year 23 mid-year review to be on the docket, and this is as I had sent in an email to the to Director Zidelis and Director Moretti, just an opportunity to kind of get an overview about the current status of the current operating fiscal year budget. That way, we as a council, have better insight into, how the fiscal year is looking, so that when the next budget comes before us, we're operating from a better informed position. Of course, we do get those reports monthly, so looking for just kind of a general sense of how things are going 6 months into the current fiscal year. Anything running over, anything running significantly under, any capital projects that are, running over, and just trying to get your sense of how you think things are going thus far.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I can just start with a outside third party observers review in terms of the the mayor's FY 23 budget. I will make a generalization that the construction of the budget was in line with revenue estimates at the time and expenses at the time, to include unfortunately some separation of employees. So the budget as it stands right now, the mayor's budget is in line with anticipated revenues and expenses that one would expect for FY 23 through half a year. Excuse me. Just as another
Mike's not on.
the people on the front line actually know what their obligations are coming, as we transition from 23 to 24. So I've started that process. I've gone through the larger departments, and I can say that to date, from the review with the larger departments, nothing is jumping off the page in terms of the sharing of information between departments. And at the highest level, I'm going to give you just a question that the rating agencies would ask as we go for a bond rating, whether it be in my former life or in Cranston. And this is one that typically comes from both Standard & Poor's and Moody's. Is there anything that's keeping you up at night? And I can report at this moment in time, looking through December, there is nothing before us that is keeping me up at night as it relates to the FY 23 budget and closing the year, either, break even or, trying to get a modest increase in fund balance, which we observed in FY 22. So at a high level, I hope that answered your question. And if there are any specific questions, I'm more than willing to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Director. On the 6-month report, it in terms of projected surplus or deficit, that's leveled at 0. My assumption is that just a standard kind of
through the chair, because in finance, it's not truly a linear. So right now, as we transition from the second quarter to the third quarter, the September review we would be in a better position to say, yes, there will be a potential surplus, and we'll be in a much better position to predict that surplus.
Are there, well, you kind of answered the question that I was going to ask, which is there anything keeping you up? So I appreciate, Director Moretti. Yes. And while they're speaking, I do just want to recognize Budget Auditor DeMayo did spend considerable time, I know, looking into this, and his efforts are appreciated as always. And if he has any questions, certainly want to provide him the opportunity.
And Mr. Chairman, one, Director Moretti just brought to my attention in terms of capital. There are, like anything, the capital budget is predicated on estimates at the time. There are projects that are out there that are trending over a budget, in what we're attempting to do with the respective department is realign project estimates and timing of certain projects to, get the overall project back in line with the original project estimates. So there are things on the capital side that I didn't address. So there are things that we are working on.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wanted to ask any questions on this matter? If not, move on to the. Seeing none. Okay. Director Zadelis, before you joined the city in previous years, I know, I think myself at several points, I think Councilman Poplaskis might have mentioned it in previous meetings, perhaps even Council Vice President Vargas, just the discussion about, should exploring taking out some sort of liability policy for the city, and what kind of the cost benefit would be on that, in terms of what the premium would be. Former Director Strom had said that he would compile the necessary information to seek a quote. He said he was working with an agency, and that never materialized into anything. Do you think that it is worth something exploring from a simple cost perspective?
Mr. Chairman, do I think the end result, depending on what type of claims you're talking about, do I think the end result will have us securing certain liability claims? I don't think so. But to answer your direct question, the mayor's office, specifically Director Moretti, has us we've actually compiled the information for us to vet that proposal. As a matter of fact, that was the actual information going back 10 years, was compiled last week. We are in the process of matching claims information with legal cost information. So we have honestly, a segment of claims experience that we are going to furnish to a carrier to get their opinion and an estimate of what the claims are. So I can say with no uncertain terms, the work is currently being done, and it will be pursued. What the final outcome is, I can't answer that right now because, again, claims aren't linear. You may have a bump in 1 year, but we are pursuing that, and the information has already been compiled.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Council Vice President Vargas.
Thank you, Chairman. So is there any way that you're able to share that information once it has been compiled, whether it's through an executive session? Or I assume, I don't know if you need an executive session, if there's specifics that need to be discussed, but I was just curious when you compile that claims, if there's any claims that, as they just noted, right, that you're saying that you compile going back 10 years and you're going to cross-reference that with the legal cost information. Is that shareable?
Through the chair, I can't answer that question, but we can check with the law department because I would assume it is, but if we could get an opinion from the law department, or would you?
Document based, if it's in a meeting without the documents itself as well, one or the other, but at some point getting that information.
Yeah.
Just from a little bit of experience, the answer will be yes. answer will be yes, be happy to share it, but we'd like the opportunity to let this evolve as a work in process. And the exercise we're doing is not myopic to just determining those numbers. Because it's a work in process, when it's kind of completed, we'd like to come back to you and share that, something that's more intelligent, if you will, considering the options of an insurer versus not, because it'd be distracting along the way to begin to share data points, rather kind of when, if that makes sense, if that's okay.
Is there anybody else before we move on? Thank you, Director Moretti and Director Zadelis. What do you think it would be? Would a month be sufficient time to follow up on the status of this, or more time necessary?
Mr. Chairman, to err on the side of caution, could I ask for 60 days, because we're gonna furnish it to an agency who's gonna come back with rates. So continuing on Director Moretti's statement to the counselor, we're coming back with a finished product, that being, here are the claims, here's the claims experience, here's the rate that was quoted to, for no better term, insure those claims. So I can't speak for the third party who we're doing it. So just, like I said, to err on the side of caution, I would say 60 days. And if there's not, if the product will not be ready in 60 days, we'll come back to the august body and say, here's where we are, and they anticipate we'll have the information by this day. Is that?
Fantastic. Thank you. Clerk, if we could put this on the finance agenda for April. Liability exposure for city contracted work. I'm gonna remove that from the docket and discuss that with Director Moretti. Lastly, the audit update. So this is just to get it for the entire council to have an update on the status of the audit. As we know, it was delayed previously. The administration has communicated on several different instances to myself and several others in council leadership about the status, but I just want the entire council to have the opportunity to be publicly aware of the status.
Again, Mr. Chairman, thank you. In terms of the audit update, when it became apparent that the audit would not be ready for January 30th, after consulting with the mayor's office, we asked for an extension until this Friday, the 10th. In terms of an update, as of last Friday, the financials were out with the auditor's internal quality control division for review, which is commonplace with a annual comprehensive financial report. So that was Friday's update. As of today, quality assurance came back with a couple of comments that Markham is addressing. We don't know what the comments are. But as of right now, I believe that the audit should be ready and filed this Friday.
Do you know what the general nature of the comments are, or?
Through the chair, no, the email just, matter of fact, today's response from the senior on the job just said that there were comments. No, we don't know specifically what the comments were. It could be formatting. I think if it was anything more substantial, we would have get hit with a flurry of questions. So I'm going to make an assumption, something I don't like to do, that it might be just format, but we'll follow back up with them in the morning. But it didn't, when the response came back, just one line, they have, quality control had some comments with no explanation. and they were handling them, it gave me the impression it isn't going to be anything we need to do. It seems more on their end.
So is there anything that on the city side that we need to do going forward to facilitate the completion of this audit, or is it more or less in the hands of Markham to complete?
Mr. Chairman, I am assuming it's in the hands of, Markham, because they did not hit us, to the best of my knowledge, with any more information or requests. So I don't believe there's anything we can do at this point in time.
Thank you. And I ask as yourself and the mayor's administration has been doing, just please keep us, continue to keep us abreast if there are any further developments.
Mr. Chairman, that's been, since the day I started, that's been the directive I've received from the mayor's office. So yes, we will.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, move on to Council Vice President Vargas. You have a matter on the docket this evening.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. So the matter that I have is the City of Cranston property revaluations. As we all are well aware, the letters went out to thousands of residents. And so I actually had a meeting with the director, Moretti, finance as well, and I believe tax assessors. And I received calls and a few emails. I'm not sure if any of you have as well, but I think it's important for us to at least understand the process and the fact that there are two different types of revaluation or evaluations. And I believe one of them is the statistical and the other one is a full revaluation in the city, of which the full evaluation every 9 years and the statisticals every 3. And if I'm missing one, I'll let the administration fill us in on each. But these are all numbers that will impact coming in 2024, because we won't know the full details till the end of this year. There are some cities and towns who actually have in the last year who have put in a piece of legislation so the houses don't go through the revolve process last year, given everything that was going on in inflation. I'm not suggesting to do that or not to do it, but really more so of listening and trying to understand and have the same messaging consistency, as we've also seen some of our neighboring cities in the newspaper in terms of options that they're most likely might be providing, I should say, their residents, or some of the options that they are currently discussing, and the process in itself. So I had asked this item to be put on the agenda, and if we can actually have the director provide us with the full background on that, because I think we've seen commercial at some point, I think go down, I think, right? Or is it the opposite way that I had done my homework 2 weeks ago, and now I totally forgot those numbers on that. But either way,
Okay.
you can
We'll
drive.
address it. What I'll do, probably the best thing to do is, I think most of you know Ken Millette, I know you know Ken Millette, but who doesn't know Ken Millette? He's our tax assessor who joined us a number of months ago, delving right into the revaluation of all the issues. He's the expert. Tremendous experience in the city of Warwick and Barrington, and he knows this stuff better than anyone in this room. So we'd like to just defer to Ken to answer all your questions and beyond.
Just a little bit of background, councilors. My name's Ken Millette. I come from the city of Warwick. I worked in the city of Warwick for over 28 years. I was the director, the tax assessor, and the tax collector during that time. I retired and decided I wanted to go back to work after 2 years of being retired. Don't ask me why. I went to Barrington. I went to Cumberland for 5 years. With the new administration, I worked for a year and a half and decided that the contract that I had signed up for wasn't applicable anymore, and therefore I looked for other employment. So I went to Barrington for a year and a half, and now I am here. So I've been through a lot of reevaluations in my time, and I've seen a lot of changes in the marketplace. I was in charge of the revals in 2007, when, as we all know, the market was falling apart.
and values were falling by the wayside. So I've been through the ups, I've been through the downs. I understand the practice and the policy of a reevaluation. Reevaluation companies know me. They respect me. As far as I know, they've both asked me to come to work for them, which I declined. So I will be watching over everything they do. As far as values, it's too early in the process to even start discussing what the values are going to do and what's going to happen. We have a whole year from when we actually set our values. Values are as of 12/31/23. So we're only in February. We got a long stretch to go. Do I know what the market's going to do? No. Did any of my colleagues who had their reevaluations delayed know what the market was going to do? No. I will tell you that those that had it delayed, there was a cost. There is an additional cost over and above what it currently costs us. We signed a contract for a little under $1.4 million with Vision. That's with the city providing support staff. We're also going to be handling all the building permits and all the sales verification, which kind of kept the cost down. 1.4 million is not a lot of money for a full reevaluation. For those of you who don't know, a full reevaluation is what we call a measure and list. We visit every property. We verify the measurements. When we can get in the backyards, Vision will be knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell. If nobody answers, they will proceed to take outside measurements. If somebody answers and says, no, I don't want you on my property, they will leave. They will ask at that time if they can come in and do an interior inspection. It is not a requirement. I know that with COVID, a lot of people are very hesitant to let outsiders in their homes. They will not be forced into that. What's going to happen is our homeowners in the summer, preferably June or July, will be receiving what we call a data mailer. The data mailer will have the pertinent information that we're valuing their property on. How many bathrooms does it have? How many bedrooms does it have? Does it have a summer kitchen in the basement? Does it have a fireplace? What kind of floors are there? All of that information will be on this data mailer. We ask the taxpayers to please check the data. If there is an error, contact us. If necessary, we would then go and visit the property with the owners and schedule an appointment with the owner to go visit the property to correct any information. This process will be advertised, and we will be communicating with our taxpayers as we did with the first letter we sent out. The first letter went to all taxpayers, whether it was homeowners, commercial properties, condo owners, everybody got a letter. Those letters were just to inform the taxpayers, this is what's going on. All of the people that were working on the reevaluation, including myself and my staff, all have identification. All the cars are given to the police dispatch so they know whose cars, who the people are. Background checks have been done on everybody. They will have a letter from the tax assessor's office if they work for Vision Appraisal that will introduce them to the taxpayer. So this is going to be as easy a process as we can make it. Reevaluations are revenue neutral. They are not to gain any tax dollars. Tax dollars are raised through the rate, not through the reevaluation. Any questions? I said a lot in a short period of time, so I hope that helps.
Council Vice President Vargas, do you have any questions? And then I do see Council President, Councilman
Can you
Paplaskas.
Thank you. Can you quickly just go over the difference between the statistical reevaluation you said for the 3-year and the 9-year, and then I'll defer the rest of the question.
The statistical reevaluation that Councilwoman Vargas talks about is when we do our interim reevaluations, which would be the 3rd and the 6th year. Those are statistical. Those are based strictly on sales that have occurred over a certain period of time, usually a year to a year and a half. Property values are updated according to those statistics. So all
all the colonials would be raised by whatever the colonial sale prices are and so on and so forth. We compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. So we don't compare colonials to ranches and we don't compare capes to colonials. We compare everything to what they are. Does that help? And the 9 years are full, as I mentioned at the beginning, that's a full measure and list where we visit every single property. And we go above and beyond to make sure that all of our data is correct.
Councilman Paplaskas.
Thank you. My question is more market related. I know you're not working on the valuations now and you kind of don't know what the markets might do when you do that. When will you start setting those valuations? Will it be a month prior to the reval when you have to get those numbers in? Just curious, you know.
We will be notifying all of our taxpayers in February, March, in that timeframe of 24, what the valuations are. At that time, everybody will receive a valuation letter. That letter will tell the taxpayer how they have to proceed if they do not agree with the value. The first part of that would be an informal review with the reval company. If they get an adverse answer back from the reval company or an answer that they don't agree with, they have the right to appeal, as every taxpayer does every single year. Follow the appeal procedure. The appeal procedure is after you receive your tax bill, you have 90 days to file an appeal with the tax assessor. The tax assessor has 45 days to answer that. If you still feel you're adversely impacted, you have the right to appeal to the Board of Review. The Board of Review has to accept your application and notify you within 30 days of when your hearing is. You then can get an answer from the Board of Review. After that, you can appeal to Superior Court if you still don't agree.
Just to follow up, do you, through the chair, do you use comps in the areas too for house sales within a certain amount of time?
Absolutely. We will be making most of our emphasis because of the market, the way the market is today. Most of our emphasis will be on the last half of 2023. We will look at the early part just for a matter of numbers to get our numbers to where they need to be as far as what we're comparing. But the major emphasis will be on what happens in the last half of the year, because that's what's really going to drive the values.
Just one more thing, more of a statement than an observation. I hope when you do look into this, I know there are in some neighborhoods, I call them unicorns, because some houses went into bidding wars. I mean, just following what's going on in my neighborhood and some other neighborhoods close by. And the house that might have sold 6 months ago or a year ago isn't worth that today, and they wouldn't have a crazy open house if they had one. And those people are probably already underwater looking at way things are coming down. So I'm glad you're on top of things and you have a lot of experience you brought to the city of Cranston, but I always get nervous during revals with those, unicorns that are out there.
Typically we throw out the highest and the lowest and we start from there. So we do follow that. We follow the market. I follow the market consistently. Every day I'm looking and reading about what's going on in the market. I think that Cranston is in a great spot because the high is over. We have come to a stabilizing area where the market is stabilizing. I know what's out on the market right now is very, very low, but the values aren't jumping like they jumped the first 6 months of last year. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Councilman Ferry and then Councilwoman.
If you could just clarify something for me, because this is a question that I've been asked once people found out a reevaluation was taking place. So this, I say hypothetically, the city of Cranston collects $100 million in property taxes. Okay, just hypothetically. So when the reevaluation is done and the rate is set and the bills go out, based on that, we're still only going to collect $100 million.
Correct.
So
unless there's a necessity to get more money in the budget, in which case we are restricted by ordinances and by state law as far as how much we can raise. But as far as what your statement is, if everything remained equal, we didn't need any more money, it would be the same.
You said that
They're revenue neutral.
there could be an increase.
Yes, There could be if the budget demands it. It has nothing to do with the value.
And that would be separate from a tax increase.
Correct.
So when people say to me, this is just another way to increase the taxes, and I tell them, no,
No,
I'm not really telling them,
you are telling the truth. If
but
the-
I have to say there is a possibility though.
There is a possibility. It depends on what the budget demands are. Okay, and that's only budgetary. The overall value, look at it this way. If you would take a minute and look at it this way. Every year, there's a chance that your budget can go up and your taxes will go up. State law and city ordinances restrict how much that can be. That doesn't change. A reevaluation doesn't change that.
Okay.
Okay.
Could I add a point of information on Councilman Ferry's topic, Chair? But when you go back out and do that reevaluation, you're now looking at the buildings that have pulled permits like, you know, construction. So we might raise more money because stuff was built too
That's
that you
right.
didn't know or wasn't on the balance sheet yet. Is
That's
that
correct.
correct?
That's what the whole purpose of the full reevaluation is, to get those items, things that were done without permits.
So it could be budget neutral to the homeowners and taxpayers, but if there was a lot of commercial development,
Correct.
that could go up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Councilwoman Jermaine, and then Councilwoman Vargas.
Thank you, Chairman. My question, you talk about if a homeowner is not happy with the evaluation, he can go to appeal it. Is there a cost associated with the appeal?
There is no cost unless they go to Superior Court. Up until a filing in Superior Court, there is no cost to the taxpayer. The taxpayer can come in and appeal to the reval company, doesn't cost them anything. Come in and appeal to me, it doesn't cost you anything. Come in and appeal to the Board of Review, it doesn't cost you anything. Often, when you're going on to the Board of Review and on to Superior Court, it may be best for a taxpayer to have in hand an appraisal. And that would be a cost to them.
So maybe I am a little bit ignorant. In the question may be already asked, but I would like you to, a lot of people think when they talk about reevaluation, is that say, hey, is that like automatically that means that gonna be an increase in their property tax? Is that
They're
correct?
going to be what?
An increase in their property tax?
No, that's
So
not the
a
purpose.
lot of people associate revaluation when they receive the letter, you panic and say, hey, that's mean automatically.
A
my tax gonna
reevaluation
be
is
increased.
only to disperse the value fairly. That's all we're doing. So market values increase and decrease all over the place. Sometimes values go up in a certain area and they're going down in another area. We're just balancing that off. That's all we're doing.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Vargas.
Just one last question. So I just want to make sure that if when there are the revaluations are done, because we have the elderly exemptions, that formula, that bracket is automatically adjusted by default, correct? There's no ordinance or anything else. It's all automatically adjusted on your side, correct?
That's correct. State law allows the city to adjust their exemptions to make sure that they still have the same monetary value that they had prior. So we can do that. It's just a matter of going through a step and making sure that everybody's getting the same amount.
The letter, sorry, I just had a quick follow-up. So when the letters go out, does that automatically
The letters
reflect
go
on
out-
that?
The letters go out and they only speak of value. They're only going to speak of value. They're not going to speak of tax. They're not going to speak of exemptions. They'll only speak of value.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions? If not, that completes our agenda for this evening. Thank you, sir. Thank you to members of the administration. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.
It is Monday, February 6th. This is the special full city council meeting. This evening on the agenda is in accordance with section 3.07 of the Home Rule Charter and section 2.04.060 of the city code. I hereby call a special meeting of the city council to be held on Monday, February 6th. If Rosalba, if you could please take the roll.
Councilman Ferry,
Present.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Here.
Councilwoman Jermaine. Present. Councilman Donegan,
Present.
Councilman Campiano,
Present.
Councilman Paplaskas, Councilman Riley,
Here.
Council Vice President Vargas. Present. Council President Marino.
Present. This evening on the agenda is one item. It is the appointment of the city clerk with the term ending January 4, 2027. This council has conducted interviews of the candidates by a subcommittee session with HR and through the full council in late January. This evening, I would accept any motions to the appointment of the city clerk. Councilman Donegan.
Thank you, Council President. Having sat in on the interview process and the subsequent meeting with the candidates, I find both of them to be highly skilled, intelligent, and experienced individuals. However, at this time, I would make a motion to appoint Sophia Millam to the city clerk position, term ending January 4th, 2027.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Paplaskas.
Thank you. I'd like to make a competing motion to appoint Tracy Nelson as city clerk.
Second.
Second.
And I'll defer to legal counsel. I believe I know what the answer is, but I don't want to be presumptuous, and I will defer to legal counsel as to the proper procedure in competing motions.
You vote on the first motion first.
Thank you to the solicitor. And is there any discussion on Councilman Donegan's motion? Councilwoman Renzulli.
Thank you. To the solicitor, I'm just curious, is it proper for us to have this discussion here? I do see executive session on this agenda tonight, so I'm just wondering if I can discuss the two candidates now candidly in open session or not.
Yep.
Presently, there's a motion on the floor to appoint. There are two motions on the floor to appoint. There's the motion on Sophia first. Tracy is the second motion. And right now, what's open for discussion is the first motion on the first candidate.
Thank you. So I would just like to say similarly to Councilman Donegan, I was part of the subcommittee who interviewed these candidates. And then again, we interview them in person here for the public viewing. And while the candidate that Councilman Donegan nominated has a good legal background and a lot of experience in various roles, she has no experience as a clerk. So I would just like to note to everyone the significance of this position. And I'm sure that any bright candidate could pick up, the skills to do the job. I've seen a lot of people take jobs. I was in recruiting before who'd never done the job before and end up very successful. But why we would chance that when we have a competing motion for someone who is currently, who was a clerk for many years and who is on different clerk associations, who knows various people in the state and in New England in this role, who could get the help she needed with one phone call. If Rosalba decided to retire any day, I do not know why it would be logical in any sense to put anyone else in this position. And I just have to make it clear that this is a very important position and it makes no sense to take anyone who's never done it before. Thank you.
Any other discussion from council members? Councilman Riley.
Thank you, Madam President. I concur with Councilwoman Renzulli. Both candidates were very nice people, absolutely. Customer service wise, they would be great. But I don't think there's anybody who off the record would deny that there's one candidate that stood far and above. And I think the person we should really defer to is our acting clerk, who does the job and has done the job for many, many years. And it was clear to her who had the correct experience to step into, like Councilwoman Renzulli said, probably the most important role in City Hall. I think we're doing a big disservice now for whatever the reasons are that we're doing this, but it was blatantly obvious that anyone standing there, there's someone who was a pseudo paralegal compared to someone who was a clerk, someone who ran a clerk and the canvassing department. And she has also transitioned from one municipality to another with ease. I don't think you could create a better candidate with better experience than Tracy. So I'm really hard pressed, and I hope that everybody does the right thing tonight for the right reasons. Thank you.
Councilman Donegan.
Thank you, Council President. There were, I'm trying to think how many resumes and application. We went through a lot, right? Like 50. Some were JDs, some were graduate level, some had experience as clerks in other municipalities, some on the West Coast, some on the East Coast, some had no relevant experience, which kind of made you wonder why they submitted an application whatsoever. I mean, like nothing even tangibly close to connecting to this. I had never met either of these individuals before they came into interview. Would not have known they existed, with all due respect. So I want to make it really clear, because there's some insinuations that there's something going on here, and I just want it to be abundantly clear that I'm making my decision based on, or I made my motion based on the interview process, the resumes, and my perception of, you know, who I think will be able to do this job at a higher level, and that's it. I think I feel confidently based on the work experience of the individual that I made a nomination for, that given their proven track record to take on new roles, challenging tasks, that I feel that they will be able to learn the job. And that's, I'm sure all of us at some point or another have been in a position where we were minimally, experienced, and we're able to learn. And that's what good employees do. And I feel confident that the person I made a motion for will be able to do that. But I want to be really clear, and people can check, campaign finance and everything else. I don't know either of these people. So any insinuation that there's anything nefarious going on, I want to be really clear that it's insulting.
Councilman Paplaskas. Oh, go ahead. Then Councilwoman Jermaine, thanks.
Oh, thank you. I'm just basing first of all, great position to be on. We have two great candidates, and thank them both for applying and for going through the process. But what sets it apart for me is the certified master clerk certification that Tracy has. That's the difference maker for me, knowing that certificate's not easy to get. It takes a lot of work. You have to know your stuff to get it. They just don't hand those out. I've known a lot of clerks over the years that didn't have that CMC, but the ones that have that CMC, you can tell it sets them apart just in the clerks themselves. So that's a big selling point for me, or reason to support Tracy. Thank you.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Thank you, Council President. I want to really congratulate both of them. It's two great candidates. If they both get here, because both of them are good. So my position to second the nomination is, oftentimes we do not give people chances to learn. We make the same mistake. None of you here start a job with your experience. You learn on the job. So I think, and we said it's a job that has longevity. Okay? So if we want to, with all due respect to Tracy, she's great. Okay? There's nothing about she's qualified, but she has been doing it over and over. Okay? She may want to retire, not for long, right? So giving somebody a chance to learn, I think we can contribute to that. That's why I second it. I don't know none of them and both of them, and I think I don't even know her name well to say it. She's capable of learning. And I asked someone who came in this country and try, people give me chance to try to learn, because we spent 2 years without a clerk. We survived. And I think if all of us want to give her a chance, she can learn and make it happen, because both of them are qualified.
Anyone who hasn't spoken that would like an opportunity to speak? Councilman Campopiano.
Thank you, Council President. As probably the only one on the city council that's hired and fired somebody over 40 years, I know the difference between somebody with experience to do the job and someone who can learn the job. I'm fully confident Sophia could learn the job, but it'd be like me hiring a mechanic to be my tool maker. There's going to be a lot of pitfalls and it's just not the same. I think Tracy is more than qualified to do the job. I'm confident she can step into the role immediately, which is very, very important at this time in the city. So for me, I think Tracy is the person for the job.
Any other council members who have not spoken yet? No, okay. Councilman Riley?
Thank you. Just real quick. I just wanted to touch on the fact that, yes, learning on the job is important and giving people chances is important. And that's all well and good if it's our own private enterprise. We're playing with the taxpayers' money here. So we need to hire the best person who has the most experience and can do this job right now. And that is clearly, and I don't think anybody can deny that that was clearly Tracy.
Now that all council members have spoken, I'm going to give my thoughts on this before I call the roll for the vote. Both candidates are good candidates and qualified for the position. In terms of the task at hand and the ability to the job, I think they're both able to do the job. Both of them spoke at the last city council meeting and both stated that they would need training. Neither one of them is going to be able to take on this role and just run with it. And in terms of clerk experience and experience in the past that's been mentioned, you know, both candidates have attributes for this role. Sophia, who is before us, that candidate, as mentioned, has worked in the city of San Francisco, which is a far cry from our little city of Cranston. To Councilman Campopiano's point of, you know, hiring and firing people, I have over the course of my career interviewed many people for the role of legal assistant, which is not the same as a clerk, but there are parallels. So this is not uncharted territory for me, and we just have a disagreement. And this is going to have to be something where we may agree to disagree if this council is, you know, happens to be split. But we should all do so in a dignified way. And to Councilman Donegan's point, you know, it's a sad reflection, although I understand why you said what you said, that we have to sit here and feel as though we have to explain whether or not we have a personal relationship with someone. No one on this council has a personal relationship, proprietary or otherwise, with either of these candidates or any of the candidates. Let's make that abundantly clear. Rosalba, if you can please take the roll. Thank you.
Councilman
Who are we voting
Farrell,
on first? Just,
We had already established first motion first, Councilman Donegan's motion to appoint the city clerk of Sophia Milham, term ending January 4, 2027.
Councilman Ferry,
No.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
No.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
No.
Councilman Paplaskas,
no,
Councilman Riley,
No.
Council Vice President Vargas, Council President Marino.
Yes. Rosalba, if you can say the vote.
Motion failed 4-5.
And next, we'll take the second motion, Councilman Poplawskis' motion to appoint Tracy Nelson as the city clerk, term ending January 4, 2027. Any discussion? There being none, Rosalba, please take the roll.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
No.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Paplaskas,
yes,
Councilman Riley,
Yes.
Council Vice President Vargas. I'm sorry. Council President Marino.
Yes.
Motion passed 8-1.
Congratulations to Ms. Nelson and welcome to being the city clerk. Thank you. And now at this time, I take a motion to adjourn for the evening.
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.